The meeting to order. Is there any public comment on non-agenda items? No? Okay, then we have review and approval of meeting notes from November 21st and December 12th. Is there a motion?
I move to approve.
There was a date
Yeah.
and somewhere in the
Second.
Crystal and I.
Or
First, second,
like 202 or something.
Yeah, instead of 2020.
and we have a correction?
Yeah,
We
I did
do
it
have a
already.
correction. Crystal is already aware of it.
Yeah, she already corrected it.
Okay,
Yeah.
So
Okay.
down here
Was-
under Aspen, May 2020.
May
Yeah.
okay.
May 202.
Long time.
Okay.
Can't open this.
Are we okay with the motion with the correction?
Was it seconded?
T-
Oh, excuse me.
Okay,
Why didn't you make
okay. Any other discussion? Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Okay, we're good.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. What happened to my agenda?
Oh,
It went
sorry, let me
away.
go back. That one
There's
item up
this-
for you.
It's this.
I know.
Here you go.
Okay, new items for discussion. Fall calendar 2020. Do I have a motion?
Move to approve.
Okay. Second? Believe
No, I can't second.
Second.
Okay.
And then go back to back.
All right. Any discussion? Yes.
I'm just curious if we could get a summary of what's happened since the last time we saw version, so if the calendar committee chairs could share, it would be appreciated.
Yes.
Well, we sent a survey out to the campus. One of the things that we were facing was if we started with the traditional last Monday of August, the 31st, then you can see the yellow week in December. It would have been pushed right up against the break, not giving a lot of time for grade processing, tear down, setup, whatever is needed to be done in instructional and non-instructional spaces. So we surveyed the campus, all constituency groups, students, faculty, classified and management, and asked them what their preference for one of three dates. I suppose we could have included the 25th, but the three dates were August 31st, August 26th, and August 24th. For some reason, August 25th didn't come to mind. We couldn't start on August 7th, because for apportionment reasons, we need to have at least a 3-day week. And all constituency groups had a majority vote of August 24th. So that's why that date is circled as the start of the calendar. There weren't a lot of internal dates during the semester that we needed to discuss, but what we did need to talk about and did last week in the calendar committee was which Saturdays were going to be designated as instructional Saturdays. And those are the dates that are in bold throughout the entire semester. And traditionally what we had done was clustered them, so 2 here, 3 there. And the way they're situated now, there were, to meet 88 days, which is half of the 176 of instruction, we needed to bold out 10 Saturdays. And the way they are now, excepting Saturday, September 5th, which is Labor Day weekend, the first 7 bolds are in order so that a dean, if they so desired, could assign a Friday, Saturday, or Saturday class to a full-time faculty member as part of load, because those are instructional days. If there were a full-term Saturday-only class or a second half Saturday-only class, that would have to be staffed on a volunteer basis because of the non-bolded, non-instructional Saturdays that fall in the second half of the term. And we made sure to pink out the 24th because campus is closed. One of the discussions was whether or not to green out September 5th. The thinking was it's kind of harsh to require somebody to be on campus on Labor Day weekend. I don't know where we landed on that, so I'll turn that over to Dr. Junie when I'm done. But that's basically how this played out. So this gives a lot of time after the final exam week in December for folks to do what they need to, like intra-term. And then we can start in on January whenever term starts in January. We'll be able to hit the ground running on that because a lot of the prep work and processing will have been done during the last, one of those green days.
And I mean, you mentioned obviously I wasn't here for the December meeting, but when will we get the spring part?
I'm done now. This is Dr. Junie's turn.
And I can't answer that specifically to you. I was thinking about that the other day, and I thought I need to work out that timeline. So I am in the process of working out that timeline. It will be early spring. But the calendar committee basically is waiting on further data that I'm working with Crystal's office on, and so we're hopeful that we'll have the data that we're looking for so that we can have that conversation when faculty come back in the spring. And so then we'll be doing it fairly quickly during that time. Part of what I'm doing right now is working out the timeline of kind of the drop dead. When do we have to have it? Because really the most important issue is we need it in time so that we can start building class schedules, as well as other things like knowing when graduation is and things of that nature.
Right. And with that, on that same theme, I guess, is I feel as of late we're going on a year-by-year approval of academic calendars, when before we had at least 2 or 3 years in advance. When are we gonna be able to go back to that so we would actually plan well ahead and not have to be on a year-by-year calendar?
So we haven't had a 3-year in advance for as long as I've been here. When I first arrived, we were doing year by year, and then we did one round of a 2-year calendar. What I would say is that I think because of some significant changes that we're trying to make, that we'll probably be going year by year for a few years. We are behind schedule from that standpoint, and so you're asking about when will we get spring. I mean, the other thing that the calendar committee will be starting on this coming spring is to get obviously spring of next year, but then also to get the following year's calendar. And so we are aware that we need to get ahead of it again. Where right now we're a little bit behind where we should be right now.
Thank you.
The reason that we're behind is because there's a desire to end spring semester by a certain date. And what we're trying to do is figure out how to do that. And one of the things that's in flux is the status of winter session. And so until we know what it's until we know what's going to happen with the winter session, we're not really ready to plan out calendars a couple of years in advance. And some of the data that that Terry just referred to, that Dr. Junie just referred to, we're surveying the current winter students to ask them why they're taking classes in winter. And that will help us inform decisions that we'll make down the road. But perhaps Dr. Junie can speak to the September 5th lack of color.
So a lot of what drives both the green and pink are actual federal and or state holidays, obviously. So we're required by other agencies to take certain days off. Other things that drive those are contracts. And so the various classified groups, et cetera, have certain things about various states. And so that basically we had that conversation at the last calendar committee about making that green because there was concern by members of the calendar committee that if you schedule classes that day, there might be absence both of faculty and or students. And so the idea was make it green. the problem, and so the problem is, there actually are some classes that schedule to meet on that Saturday. There's field trip classes, things of that nature that actually take advantage of the fact that it's a 3-day weekend. And so there are actually a number of reasons, both from the instructional side as well as the support side, that the college needs to be open and so that things can be happening that day, as opposed to saying that it's closed and there are no classes.
And then I will say, speaking to what Matt brought up, that there's a desire for spring to end by a certain date. The whole purpose of ending by a certain date is earlier, so that way students can take internships. We can create a college-wide culture of we're all trying to find our students internships related to their majors, their programs, and career goals, so that we can maximize those opportunities. Right now, we end so late that a lot of our students, either they miss commencement intentionally because they have to leave to go to their internship, or they just forego the internship.
This might be a little bit off topic, but you mentioned, Matt, that you're currently surveying the students. I know that you've surveyed the instructors. Will there be additional surveys of instructors that will inform?
Oh, yeah. The next survey that I anticipate will occur late February, early March, at the very beginning of the spring semester. And it will essentially be getting at, do you want winter? A winter session. I think it'll be preceded by some communication, because that was more effective the second round than it was the first round when the faculty were surveyed. So yeah, we're gonna ask. There's a vocal group of folks who are strongly opposed to removing winter, but we don't know what the size of that group is. We know the volume of the group, but we don't know the size of it.
Just to add to that, there was a survey that just went out to faculty that basically gave them a number of different options for the whole calendar, basically. So there were things about fall, there was things about spring break, there was things about winter, length of winter, et cetera. And there was nothing in that survey that allowed written comments, but iPro received a lot of emails from people who wanted to give written comments, and one of the questions that was asked by a number of people was, why did you not give us the option of no winter? So there are some people out there that really want us to talk about the elimination of winter, and we've been kind of stepping lightly around that topic because of past history. I think it's important I think it's really important to say. So one of the options we are talking about is the elimination of winter. I think it's important to note that we basically have been talking about that now for probably pretty close to 2 years. And so what happened before was winter was calendared, classes were scheduled, and then a decision was made to cancel winter. This is totally different. We are talking about making adjustments to the winter-spring side of the calendar to find ways to better serve our students and help them in a number of ways, from the standpoint of completion as well as what they do during their breaks. And everyone's involved in that conversation. We're getting input from anyone. So if we make a significant change to winter and anyone at this campus is surprised, they're just not listening. And so I think it's important to say that, yeah, a mistake was made because a decision was made after a decision had been made, and people were surprised by it, and there wasn't the appropriate amount of collegial conversation. We're having a lot of collegial conversation. So,
Dr. Juni, is one of the options to move winter to like an early summer?
Well, and so I mean, one of the things the calendar committee is looking at basically is the idea of basically eliminating winter, so that spring would start around the time that winter normally starts, and spring would then end around the middle of May 15th-ish. And then we could then offer what I'll call an early summer, a summer that would start shortly after that, and you could have a 6-week early summer. That 6-week early summer would then end when our spring normally ends, when we have a 6-week winter. So there actually would be the same arrangement of a 16-week term and 6-week term, so you still have that. It's just that the 16-week term would happen before the 6-week term. That would allow students that need that short term for some purpose would have that opportunity. Faculty that want that opportunity to teach an extra session that they get by teaching winter classes could do that in the early summer class, and that would still fit in the same start-end date that the winter-spring fits right now. It just, instead of being winter-spring, it would be spring-summer. And so that is one of the things that is the calendar committee is discussing right now.
Matt, and then Rebecca.
And one of the ways this is different than what had happened in the past is I think the administration was reticent to kind of broach that subject kind of so soon after the new president has arrived. And I have been kind of pushing us in the direction of let's find out where the campus is on winter. As a result of the surveys that Dr. Junie referred to and discussions in the academic senate, it's coming from the faculty saying, hey, let's talk about this winter thing. So this is, it's coming from a different place, I think, and I'm speculating that because it's coming from faculty, the administration is more amenable to, okay, let's get those data, let's find that information out.
I just wanted to ask, are there calendar committee meetings during winter?
Not usually.
Good.
We had
Because students, that's why they're not here.
Right. We had a special meeting a week ago because we needed to get the fall calendar to the board.
Okay.
And so just like this is a special college council meeting, we had a special calendar meeting. Basically, the topic we discussed was just finalizing what is in front of you right now. And we had been talking about it a lot more than obviously this group had, so no one should have been surprised. What we actually did spend a significant amount of time is which Saturday should be part of that calendar, and so.
I just want to make sure because with winter
Normally,
schedules, the
right.
students have classes all day, so it's not their normal semester.
Well, faculty are off contract, so.
And we did schedule that when in December when the student representative was in the room, and we scheduled it so that she could attend, and she was there last week. And
yeah, we had it early. Normally it's around 12 or 1 during the day. We had it at.
it was at this time.
It was at this time, yeah, because her class started at 10 o'clock, so she was able to go.
Yeah. And we also we bounced the survey around that the students are currently answering now.
About it.
So those were basically the two things
Right.
that we did.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay, call the question. Those in favor of approval?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Passes.
You can take announcements.
Oh,
Try to get this to work. Yeah, I think that's all that's left. It's a short meeting.
Okay,
Yep, you're on announcements.
we're on announcements. Is there any announcements? Yes.
I'm okay.
We have a retreat this Friday in Circadian from 9 to 4. That is a partnership of the Aprendiendo Caminos Title V grant and the Guided Pathways Career Community Leads. And at this retreat, we're planning 2 major kind of launches for career communities for spring. One of them is a Canvas shell that will be embedded in every student's dashboard that will have information that is directed specifically at students about career supports through the Freeman Center. Their success team, which includes counselors, success coaches, tutors, career interns, faculty, the whole gamut, and each of those success teams will be connected and housed in a success center around campus, which have been identified with help of Isela Osegueda. And the third piece is, it'll come to me in a minute. The other part that we are planning was we had originally thought of having a week 2 launch to career communities, kind of a big event in the quad. And then we're working to develop an app with Dave Smith from computer science that would then kind of push students into the permanent locations for their career communities. But I've heard that the students might be interested in pushing Club Week back to week 2 again.
We are,
Okay,
because the week 3 is booked with.
for the quad?
Yeah. It's Lunar New Year.
Mm.
So right now we're negotiating to see if we can get or that's first week actually.
Yeah,
So
that's for February.
Yeah, and there's something else on third week. That's why
Okay.
they couldn't do third week. 'Cause
Okay,
Somebody
so
else.
I think that I now need to have the career community leads coordinate with the associated students to see if we want to plan things simultaneously or separately. So,
Or we could do it all over campus.
yeah, okay.
And we could have student life everywhere.
Uh-huh.
The second.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, so hopefully, we're gonna have students at the retreat this Friday, but maybe I can speak to you, Rebecca, about getting more of the associated students there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because AS has a retreat this weekend, starting
Okay.
Friday. So we're off campus all
Okay.
weekend.
Let's see if I can get to them before
Yeah.
they take off. Okay, I wanted to say it in this space because there's so many of you here who have the information, so. Just to put that on your radar, and then we'll be following up, meeting with all the division deans and other players about what needs to happen in order to make the event a success, whether it's in week 2 or week 3. And Alex will be in attendance also. Okay, that's me, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other announcements? Matt?
Dr. Bush and I will be arranging a town hall type thing in the first week of February so that we can get feedback on the facilities master plan.
Yes. Yes.
Later today, I and members of my staff meeting with Candace and others to talk about communicating out the policy changes that this body saw through and the board approved relating to travel and to email retention. So keep your eyes peeled for some more information on the campus about the actions related to those 2 policy changes.
Dr. June?
Just update, so there are currently 25 faculty positions that are open for recruitment. Those all close at various times in early February. The California Community College Registry has a job fair that is occurring on Saturday the 25th of this month, and Pasadena City College will have quite a group there help talking to people and helping to recruit for those various positions.
Thank you.
Any other announcements? Yes, ma'am.
Tomorrow in the board packet, there is a new Assembly Bill, 1504, that requires each student to pay $2 for representation. And those are students who enrolled on or after January 1st. We already charge our students $1 for representation, so it'll just be a $1 increase. And students will have an opt-out option. We will be implementing that as soon as it goes through our board packet. And it's just for us to comply with the new legislation.
Thank you. Anything else? Okay, with that, we're adjourned.